Boom.
Biddly, 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 but yes, yes, yo, here we go. Ain't nobody down round here. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. He's in, he's on, he's over, he's here. Ain't nobody down round here. Had to move back to get his greatness in. We click up, we get that screen. We click down, we get this screen. Biddly, 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 bo. Yes, yes, yo. Here we go. Don't know why I'm doing that. Probably not going to do it long term. Sort the hat out. Worst camera angle of all time. Quick shit vid. You know what time it is. Ain't nobody down round here. That is the worst camera angle on God's earth that I've ever watched a game of football on, and the football was to match. Byram was in for Firpo. James was in for Rams. I thought Byram did well, to be fair. He got a bit of stick on Twitter like everybody does, but it is what it is. We keep moving. James didn't look 100%. I thought when he broke away, that was his opportunity to sort, on the break. He's normally, obviously, he's rapid, and everybody were calling out that he's not actually fast. He's got plenty of pace about him, of that there's no doubt, but I just didn't think he was up to 100%. Byram looked a bit dumb by about 80 minutes. He looked like he'd had enough, but ultimately don't play a lot of football. They sort of went, I thought they started the game really well, first 20-25 minutes, truth be told. There were sort of like three up top when we was on the ball, and then two in behind. So they were looking to press, but it wasn't like, it wasn't necessarily a forward-thinking press, more just a slow press. So whatever they call it, a mid-press, don't they? They put it in behind Byram a fair few times. I thought Struick, Strout, Pascal got dragged over a little bit. It's clearly a thing that teams are sort of awake to. If the winger pulls the left-back forward or the right-back forward, the right back's got the ball on to go over the top of our wing back, left back or right back, and then the striker moves over, vice versa. They can put it into middle. They went two up top at end. That didn't really work for them, but that would be a strategy really going forward. If you can pull the left back forward, as was happening with Byram, Struick across, and then there will be a gap in the middle, as it showed in the first half a couple of times. They looked like they could get it. As the commentator was convinced that Rodon was called Rondon. Met a lad called Kanaka, and then just to cap it off, there was a guy called Bodon. So obviously Rodon, Tanaka and Bogle, but he were doing his best. I still believed after 25 minutes we'd be able to implement our game. We sort of came back into the game a little bit towards the end of the first half. Peru were lacking a bit of quality. Way to pass was poor, but I think that was for Nonto. He played Nonto through, and it's just a really poor ball. It's sort of like, the ball was on, not a difficult ball to play. But then a lovely couple of deft touches where he just sort of picked it out and just moved ball around, but not enough from him even remotely. There were a lot of calls to bring Joseph on a lot earlier. We'll talk about the substitutions a little bit later on. Good effort from Nonto from the corner. That sort of got Nonto going a bit. There were a lovely ball through from Nonto to James as well, where he could have dinked it over. So all in all, the first half, I felt like, James was sort of thrust into the game a little bit. We'd sort of ambled to that point, and then suddenly he was on like 3 sprints. He had the long sprint all the way through, and then the dink, which, he was just stretching to get there, really. Overall, did we look a little bit leggy? Obviously, Byram's not had a lot of minutes. James he's coming back from injury, hasn't had a lot of minutes. Solomon coming off at bench didn't really make an impact. He's not had a lot of minutes coming back from injury. It's like, but overall, the first half I felt we created more. Now the second half, other than the Bogle lovely ball racing forward, James sprinting in because he's still rapid over 10 yards, isn't he? And then the Nonto he got it cleared off at line. I felt like a couple, but Bogle's obviously, or should I say, Bodon. Bodon's now, it got issued another yellow card, so he's not eligible for the next game. So you would imagine it's Byram going right back, and then it'll be Firpo going back left back. But the booking, I just felt like he'd give up with that booking. I felt like he was running back. It was just like, do I want to do the 50-yard sprint? Probably, there were plenty of players around. I know they get to do professional fouls and stuff. Then Solomon came on for James, which I was happy to see Solomon on, but he's not at it at all at the moment, and everybody's saying that he needs to go. I think we need to give him a little bit of chance. A lot of people saying that he's just uninterested. I disagree with that. Solomon, it's pretty much make or break for Solomon this year. Joseph came on for Peru, instantly got a chance, and to be brutally honest, completely wasted it. He does not look very solid in the air. Rothwell, I felt like was the only one with a little bit of urgency, to be honest. He was actually looking to like get the game going a little bit, put ball down from free kicks, wanted to move it a bit quicker. I mean, there was a wayward shot of at top, like towards end of game, sort of, I think, in about 80th minute. But I'd have just like to seen the players do a little bit more. There's a lot of Farke haters and a lot of, Farke don't make the substitutions early enough, which he doesn't, but that's just what he does. There's people saying that it's the negativity of Farke that sort of brought this result on. I don't buy into that fully. This is not a defensive Farke. I think he could do things sooner. I would rather players. I know being a sub myself pretty much my whole life. That was a joke. Never been a sub apart from when I have, and when I have, I've not got given the opportunity. But yeah, you need 30 minutes, 25 minutes, don't you? I don't care what level you're playing at. The game had gone really flat when Joseph came on, when Solomon came on. Give Bamford 5 minutes. It seemed relatively pointless at the time. The game had died. Bristol had given up on it. But I just think there's more from the players needed. More player responsibility needs to be taken on. Farke can say whatever. You can say sideways, sideways, sideways. The last couple of games, we have been playing the ball forwards. Joe said, I've just been on Just Joe, and he said, which I fully agree with, if that had been Ampadu and Gruev in the middle today, they'd have got absolutely pelters for it, just saying it's all sideways, it's all boring, it's all backwards. Whereas, Rothwell and Tanaka, that's what they're meant to be about, moving the ball forward. And I don't think they had poor games, to be fair to them, but I just think there's more to it than just waiting on sort of like an individual piece of brilliance or a nice strike or whatever. There's plenty to go at. Give it a little bit of energy, put a little bit of something in, wake the team up a little bit, but it needs to be a few. As I say, Rothwell were trying to get it going, but it just wasn't happening. And it's because it needs 4 or 5 players, like who really stood out for you today, ultimately. I don't think Byram had a bad game, to say that it's his first game back in a long time, and even though he got a bit of stick, people say Melier did well, he did do all right, but when we're picking out players that have just sort of caught ball a couple of times, or Struick's won an header and then we're saying he's had a good game, it's not really good enough, is it, going forward? I know then the blame gets solely put on Peru, but ultimately as a team there's more we can do. I think we're still going up, that there's no doubt. I'm pretty convinced of that. Change the screen for that, because we are going up. It just might be a little bit boring along the way. I still think there'll be a long run of games where we go on, so like similar to last year with the 10-game run where we were sort of smashing everybody. Like, it was just so comfortable, you thought we were just going to fly up. But away from home, it's definitely looking like we're starting to sort of settle for a point, on occasion. Bristol are a decent enough side, aren't they? We will know at the end of the year whether that's a decent point. My instinct now is it's probably a decent point. This game will be forgot. Everybody's saying that it's the worst performance of the season. Do you not remember the West Brom game? I will never get over that West Brom game. I will never get over that West Brom game. Nobody tried to win the game. Farke, I can only hope, was trying to make a point in not winning that game because he wanted some players in. That was not the worst game of the season, or the worst Leeds game of the season, or the worst Leeds game that I've ever watched. It's one of the worst games of football I've ever watched. Absolute pony, but ain't nobody down round here. We've got Plymouth at the weekend. We're back to the 3 o'clock kickoff. Get Rooney smacked to... Boom. JackCity beats.